Hello again. This short clip is it will be, I think it's vlog number 8 from the Steelcityman, and this short video is going to be about the Sheffield variation of the Yorkshire accent. All accents around Yorkshire are very similar. There's just a few local variations, and this one is about Sheffield. It's all been done before. Lots of people have put videos on YouTube about the Yorkshire accent, so I'm going to drop me PC voice now and start speaking in my native dialect. For so many years I suppressed it so that people could understand me in my professional role when I was working, but not anymore, so here we go. There's been films made by some proper Yorkies whose, in my opinion, whose grasp on the Yorkshire dialects has been very good. Some have been not too bad and others have been quite horrendous. I'm not going to say that mine's going to be any better, but I'll certainly give it a go. This is from a Sheffielder's point of view or perspective. A favourite one of mine is a young fella called Harrison Fletcher. He's on YouTube and he's done quite a few of these Yorkshire accent ones, and he's excellent. He's a young fella from Rotherham, and he's quickly becoming well known with his unique brand of humour. He is very good. I'll put some details down below on the details, and I urge you to look him up, give him a go, give him a like, and even subscribe to him. I'm sure you'll enjoy his output. Yorkshire, like I said, has got many varied dialects, and Sheffield is very different from how folk in Barnsley talk. In fact, most Sheffielders consider Barnsley out of this world. You know, it's on another planet. The language is very, very different, and that's different again to Rotherham, where that Harrison Fletcher comes from, and that's different again from Doncaster. So you get variations, and that's just in the south of Yorkshire. We've got the north, west and east as well, and they have very different dialects. Of course, being a true Yorkshireman, I don't recognise the modern political boundaries. We have Yorkshire is the UK's biggest county, and it's divided up into, politically, North Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, West and East Yorkshire. Each region very different, having very different cultures, very different industries or industrial backgrounds, and each place is quite unique. So because it is UK's largest county, it were originally, and to my mind it still is, divided into 3 parts. Each part is called a riding, and a riding it's an old Viking word for meaning third. So originally it was North Yorkshire, West Yorkshire and East Yorkshire. So that was the North Riding, the West Riding and the East Riding. Sheffield was in the old demarcation well and truly inside the West Riding of Yorkshire. Anyway, back to Sheffieldish, the unique way that Sheffielders talk. As has been said on many videos before, the word "the" it's been dropped. We don't use it much at all, if at all. The word "the" has been replaced with a guttural stop. So if you're going to go to the shops, you go into shops. There's that guttural stop. Another word that's peculiar, I think, to Sheffield, or it's a variation of a word that's quite common, but it's just pronounced slightly different in Sheffield. Again. Again. That means again. If you give somebody a brush and tell them to lean it against the wall, you'd give them a brush and you'd say, "Here, lean it against the wall." Again. Another one that's a good one, BOPBAR. Yorkies will know what I mean by that, BOPBAR. It's Yorkshire word or a Sheffield word for faeces. Young people, if they want to go to the toilet, they'll say, "I want a BOPBAR." As you get a little bit older, it gets transferred to I'm going to have a bob. And unfortunately, when you get to about secondary school age, you've reverted back to, there it is, BOPBAR means faeces. Another word that's peculiar to Sheffield, and it's caused lots of arguments all over the place, is a bread cake. Some folk call them cobs, some folk call them rolls. A bread cake is a bread cake. It's not a cob and it's not a roll. A cob is a big loaf with a crust, a big round loaf with a crust. That's a cob. A roll is a little round blob of dough that's a roll, a bread roll. But a bread cake is quite a large, Liverpudlians call it a stotty, but in Sheffield it's a bread cake, and it's a large, round, flat cake of bread, and that's a bread cake. So no, it's not a cob. It's not a cob at all, or a roll. It's a bread cake. Get a grip. Another one is peculiar to Sheffield is a gennel. A gennel. I think other places in Yorkshire call it a ginnel or a ginnel. And all a gennel is, it's a passageway, usually a narrow passageway, usually between two houses. That's a gennel. Another one, peculiar, well, not so much peculiar to Sheffield, because they use this word like in North Sheffield, Stocksbridge, Barnsley, around that area, lake, or the laking. To lake means to play. So it's from the old Viking language again. I don't know why we use Viking words, because it were them buggers that used to come and beat us up every few months. They used to rape us and pillage us. So I don't know why we use Viking words, but there you go. There's lots of Viking words. Love. Now, I think you all know what love means. And when you're in Sheffield, it's got a double meaning. Yes, you can love somebody, like your heart beats fast and you fall in love with somebody, but it's known that even two fellas call each other love in Sheffield. It's not a term of endearment, it's just another way of saying mate or pal. Not so much pal, there's another meaning to pal, I might get onto that later. But it's love. Two fellas, a fella will say to somebody, "Alright love." Or if he falls down, he'll pick him up and say, "Alright love." Love. There you go. So I don't think people fall in love with you if you're coming to Sheffield and they call you love. Mardy, that's another word, Mardy. Mardy bum. Arctic Monkeys wrote it into one of the songs. Mardy, it means moody, whingy, whiny. You're Mardy, you're a Mardy bum. As you get older, it's usually termed as Mardy arse, if you're more common. But Mardy, yeah, Mardy, that's a Sheffield. Mash, that's another one, mash. Not like mashing potatoes, you mash tea. You pour your boiling water onto your tea and you let it mash, you let it sit, you let the tea infuse into the water, so you're letting it mash. Not many other places use that word, mash. Another one, neb. It's your nose, neb. If you're sticking your nose in other people's business, they'll say, "Keep your neb out." Or if you're being nosy, they'll say, "Oh, he's a nebby so-and-so." Neb. NESH, that's another one, NESH. It means that you're unusually susceptible to cold. You're always feeling cold. That's your NESH. And if you're described as NESH, folk will often tell you to change your butcher. You want some thicker gravy. Another good one is a lot of districts around Sheffield use the word roaring for crying. In Sheffield, it's roaring. If you're crying, somebody will say, "What they're roaring at?" What are you crying at? Roaring. OREYT, that's another good one, OREYT. Which means, "Are you alright? How do you do? OREYT." If you meet somebody, you'll greet them by saying, "OREYT." Spice. I've not heard this much outside, certainly South Yorkshire, and not really outside Sheffield. Spice, it means sweets. You know, candy bars and humbugs and spangles. Oh, showing my age there. Spice means sweets. Another good word is GERROFF. GERROFF. Again, it's commonly used throughout South Yorkshire, but I've heard it used more in Sheffield than anywhere else. GERROFF means get off. GERROFF. Another good saying is put wood in oil. If you go into a room and you leave the door open and it's cold, there's a draft, somebody will shout, put wood in oil. The wood being the door and the oil being the doorway. So you put the wood in the hole. Put wood in oil. Last one, to finish off with last one, because I could go on all day with this. Endos. Passers endos. Particularly if you're at a table having a meal. Passers endos. Henderson's relish. You can't have a stew or a Yorkshire pudding without Henderson's relish. Endos. There you go. I'm sure lots of people outside Sheffield have used these words. I just think that I find these words are more common in Sheffield than most other places. You might get a bit of spillover into Barnsley, or Rotherham, should I say, not so much Barnsley. They've got their own way of talking. But there you go, that's my take on Sheffield language. I might do another one later on, because there's lots and lots of words and sayings that are really peculiar to Sheffield. And one of the most famous places, and I've even heard it said as far away as Hull, where I used to live and work. If something comes round, you might say sometimes once in a blue moon, or folk round here say once in a Sheffield flood. I might tell you a little bit more about that later on. That's probably subject matter for another video. Okay, so from Steelcityman, thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like. I would love subscribers. I'm heartily grateful for the 13 or 12 people, because one of them left me yesterday, the 12 people who have subscribed to me, and I think there's only 2 that's family, so thank you very much. And anybody that gives me a like, you're my friend for life. Catch you later. Bye for now.